Hello, and welcome once again to the video. And this one, as the title suggests, I was just going to talk for a short time about the first 3 episodes of the new Star Wars live-action series, Ahsoka. I've been looking forward to this one. Just going by the trailers, basically looks far more exciting than the previous ones that we've had. I thought Kenobi disappointed a little bit. Not enough tension, really, not enough lightsaber action. Too much of Kenobi was spent advertising the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi could no longer hack it. We had that with The Last Jedi, didn't we, with Skywalker not being able to hack it anymore, and then we had it with Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. It's only towards the end that in that final lightsaber duel, that he actually really excelled in it. That was the best bit of the whole series, that final lightsaber duel with Vader. But anyway, back to Ahsoka. Written and, I believe, directed by Dave Filoni, the #1 creator left in Star Wars now, I would say, a protege or Padawan of George Lucas himself. And of course, Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's creation. He's very proud of that character that he created for the Clone Wars. So I've watched the first 3 episodes. And I have to say, I really like it. It lived up to the promise from the trailers, I think. It's very good. Standout performances for me are from Ray Stevenson, the late Ray Stevenson, unfortunately, as Baylan Skoll, and Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. Now, Rosario Dawson, of course, she did a little bit of Ahsoka in the Book of Boba Fett, and I think also a little bit, was she also in season 3 of The Mandalorian? Maybe not, but she was definitely in Boba Fett, wasn't she? Along with a partially Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I thought she was good in that, but I think she's even better in this. She's got that sort of brooding intelligence, that calm, knowing, slight smile on her face all the time, as if she's not the slightest bit worried about anything. And that's really good how they've done that. They portrayed her as a very wise old Jedi, even though she's not tremendously old. But she's obviously a mature Jedi now. She's not the Ahsoka that we remember from the Clone Wars. Obviously, a number of years have gone by. But I thought her performance was really good. And Baylan Skoll. I particularly liked Ray Stevenson's shoulders as Baylan Skoll. His big, wide shoulders. It looked like Darth Vader from behind. I thought that was great. He looks like he's got a really imposing presence. And the way that scenes often end with a sort of close-up shot of Baylan Skoll as if he's about to do something, but then he doesn't. That's how the 3rd episode ended, and there was a bit of that in the previous 2 episodes as well. Just focusing on a brooding Baylan Skoll. I thought it was really good. I don't know what they're going to do with the fact that Ray Stevenson has died now. So I very much doubt that that Baylan Skoll is killed in this series. Be very surprised, or converted to the light side. I'd be very surprised. Very much doubt that. So they're going to have to write him out of it somehow. It's going to be a bit tricky. It's a shame if he dies off screen, but how else can they do it? They could have someone come in and play him. They could use computer animation to do it and then kill him off maybe in the first or second episode of the second series, so that at least it's on the screen, not off screen. I particularly liked the music and the new, the bit where they have their helmets, the sort of Disney thing at the beginning where they have all the helmets and they play that music. That one. I'd got quite frankly bored of that after so many years, and they have replaced it, or they seem to have done anyway. Maybe they haven't replaced it at all and they just now use whatever the music is for that particular TV series, which for Ahsoka I really like. It reminds me of Rogue One. It's very much like Rogue One. It's a little bit of sort of samurai bamboo sticks bashing against each other, that sort of thing. It definitely has a samurai feel to it, an ancient Japan feel to it, as did the music in Rogue One as well. So I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, the music. Very brooding. And I loved the scroll as well. It wasn't a full-on Star Wars scroll, but it was very, very similar and very deliberate, designed to look very similar to the classic Star Wars scroll. I love that as well. So it's great. And I thought it looked great. There's a lot of greats, I know, but I thought of course, the graphics and the images and everything are going to look fantastic. But I just had to comment on that because I thought that the ships look beautiful. There's lots of concentration on what the ships look like, and they all look fantastic. They all look great. There's loads of lightsaber duels. That's also good. Previous series have not really done much in that field, paling into insignificance compared to the prequel trilogy. But this one has really engaged. Okay, there's not a load of jumping about and dancing around like with the prequels. I'd like to see more of that acrobatic lightsaber duels. I'd like to see more of those. But it's still great, and I want more of that. What I want from a Star Wars TV series or film is lots of lightsaber wielding characters, basically. I like to see loads of them, like you get in the computer games. The old Jedi Knight and specifically Jedi Academy PC game from 20 plus years ago. That one had like Inquisitors with lightsabers around every corner. That's what I want to see more of. And this is going some way towards that, so I do like this. However, they have done the same thing that they did in, was it Kenobi? I think it was Kenobi, where they completely ignore getting a lightsaber through the stomach. There were two characters, weren't there? I forget their names right now, but there were two characters in Kenobi that seemed to shrug off getting a lightsaber through the gut all the way through and out the other side. One of the characters, the Chief Inquisitor, he explained it away by saying he had two hearts or something, and it went through one but not the other one, something like that. But the other character, no such reason was given for her surviving. Not only did she survive, but she managed to just shrug it off and go about what she was doing. And okay, here at least they had what's her name, Sabine Wren. At least they had Sabine in hospital for 48 hours, just to check over her. But how is that possible? A lightsaber goes through you and out the other side, and now you just have to spend 2 days in hospital. Not even on a life support system. So I think, I don't know what they're doing there, but they made that mistake with Kenobi, and they have made that mistake with here. A lightsaber is supposed to kill you, okay, unless it just cuts an arm or a leg off. So I don't know why they've done that again. Made that mistake again. It's not a criticism, but one thing that I've noticed anyway is, just like with The Mandalorian, you could argue that it's not about The Mandalorian. What's the name of the character played by Starbuck in The Mandalorian? Certainly the second 2 series of The Mandalorian seem to revolve around her. God, what's her name? I can't remember what her name is. But she was played by the actress that played Starbuck in the more modern version of Battlestar Galactica. I can't remember. I can't remember the actress's name either. I know it's something like Schwarzkopf or something. Sackhoff. Yeah, something Sackhoff, isn't it? That's the actress's name. I just can't remember the character's name. Anyway, certainly The Mandalorian 3, Series 3, seemed to revolve around her and not the Mandalorian. He just seemed to be enabling her, like assisting her with her journey through the series. And is that going to happen with this one now? Is Ahsoka just sort of in the background a little bit, and everything is actually revolving around Ezra Bridger? I hope not. I want this to be Ahsoka focused. At the moment, it's very Rebels focused, and I think it is going to be all the way through. They wouldn't, these characters are there to stay now. Ahsoka and Hera and Sabine and Ezra. So it is going to be a very Rebels intensive show, which is not bad, I suppose, but it's called Ahsoka, isn't it? Not the Return of the Rebels. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that at the moment. It's not enough to spoil it for me, though, not at all. Huyang, the robot Huyang, that's quite a good character, quite an obvious character, a bit of a C-3PO character, coming out with all the normal stuff, a lovable robot that always manages to say the wrong thing because he's too sort of honest and straight-laced and following protocols, just like C-3PO. And Huyang, the voice of Huyang, is David Tennant, who many will know as playing, in the past, some 15 years ago, played the Doctor in Doctor Who, of course, David Tennant. He's doing the voice. Of course, we've got Ewan McGregor's wife playing Hera, Syndulla, and that's Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Ewan McGregor's wife, that is. Keep it in the family. We haven't seen Thrawn yet, but Thrawn is played by Lars Mikkelsen. And Lars Mikkelsen is the brother of Mads Mikkelsen, who of course played Galen Erso in Rogue One. That's his brother. Now, when you look at Lars Mikkelsen, the actor, he doesn't look like Thrawn at all. Certainly not the cartoon version, or what I consider Thrawn to look like. But when you look at him in his makeup, which I have seen online, he does look quite good. I think he looks quite menacing, not exactly like the image I have in my head for Thrawn, but he still looks very good. And it's about the acting more than anything. Morgan Elsbeth seems like quite a simple human name for a character. Both the word name Morgan and also Elsbeth, which is a very old name in England. There's lots of little old ladies walking around called Elsbeth. So that's a bit odd. It's like Doris or something like that. Or in America, you might have maybe Edna. Might that be an old lady's name or something in America? But yes, that's a strange name. But I do like all the characters. She's a strong character. Shin Hati, I haven't mentioned her, played by Ivana Sakno or Sakno. I've never heard of that person before. I've never heard her name pronounced before. But Shin Hati, yeah, she's okay. I mean, she's a wide-eyed, devoted apprentice, isn't she? Basically, just like Darth Maul, eyes out on stalks, ready to kill anything she's ordered to. Very similar to Darth Maul, and I think she's okay. But I fear for her life in the show, because you have to have baddies die either during a series or at the end of a series. And I think, so Shin Hati, I think she's going to be one that gets killed off at the end. And they'll bring somebody else in. I'm sure she'll get killed off at the end. But what will they do with Baylan's skull? That's the thing. Will they bring in another actor to play Baylan's skull? Will they use computer animation? I think, here's my prediction, as I said earlier, that he will get killed off in the first or second series. They'll use a little bit of computer animation for the face, but they won't want to do that too much. Plus, they won't want somebody else, either their voice or their body, to take over the character. They will want it to very much so be Ray Stevenson's character. You don't want somebody else to carry it on for numerous series afterwards. So I think they'll kill Baylan's skull off in probably the first episode of the second series. So there you go. First 3 episodes. I like them a lot. I'll probably do a review of the next 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe do them 2 at a time now, as they come out. And I will, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you on the very next video, I hope. Or you'll see me. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so, or like the video, or comment. And I will see you next time. But for now, as I zoom in on my Millennium Falcon, for now, it's goodbye from me.